BLACKPINK Deadline Review, the four who write their own rules. Artist, BLACKPINK. Release, Deadline, EP. Label, YG Entertainment. Tracklist, Jump at JISOO, Me and My Champion, Fxxboy. The title already expired. BLACKPINK's Deadline World Tour finished in January 2026. 16 cities and 33 concerts done, and the EP sharing its name arrived 5 weeks later. Call it irony, call it scheduling. The tour is on the merchandise and in the setlist history. The music came after. Is BLACKPINK's Deadline good? Deadline is a 5-track EP with 2 strong productions in JISOO and Jump, a structurally solid 3rd track in Champion, and a closing ballad in Fxxboy that rewards close listening. The weaker moments, including Me and My Thin lyrics, the Dr. Luke credits, and JISOO's limited runtime, are real, but they sit alongside genuinely ambitious work. For a 15-minute project 3 years in the making, it delivers enough to justify the wait without fully justifying the gap. What Deadline actually sounds like. Jump, produced by Diplo and Teddy, opens on a 16th-note bass pattern closer to Jersey Club than traditional K-pop, though the sonic identity blares quickly once spaghetti western whistles and EDM horn blurts pile in. The mid-song restructure, where the tempo and texture reshape themselves entirely, is a moment the song reveals what it was built for: arenas. It peaked at number 28 on the Billboard Hot 100 in July 2025 and was reported as a top-streamed K-pop group song of the year on both Apple Music and Amazon Music. The formula worked because it was engineered to. JISOO, the lead single and the one they built a music video around, is a different proposition entirely. Produced by Circuit and Teddy, it opens with spacey pad chords floating over Rosé and Lisa before the production starts a pump. A sidechain effect on the synths ducks the volume rhythmically, creating a pressurized bounce before the bass even drops. Then Jenny delivers a descending chromatic line, the note stepping down in half tones beneath the lyric. Then JISOO, You Only Move When I Say So. Then the drop, a whirlpool of distorted bass that sits in the frequencies you feel before you hear. We covered Ghost production in detail in our full breakdown, but the short version is this. The engineering is intricate in a way that few K-pop title tracks bother with, and it partly explains why the song sounds less like a YG template and more like something assembled from outside the system. JISOO is also the first song all 4 members co-wrote together after a decade as a group. Chris Martin shares a writing credit, and it is audible. The chorus carries a string motif lifted from Coldplay's Viva La Vida, the Baroque loop absorbed into a synthetic frame rather than foregrounded. Somewhere between Jenny Springsteen reference at the bridge and a hook that turns the group's own name into a command, JISOO asks a question Jump never quite does. What happens when BLACKPINK write about themselves rather than for themselves? Me and My, produced by Dr. Luke, Vaughn Oliver, and Tobias Wincorn, arrives with a live horn section, trumpets arranged clean over a minimal hip-hop beat. Jenny raps about pretty privilege. The build of horns and 808s leading into a chorus stripped almost bare. Just a clap and a lot of air works better than the lyrics deserve. In early reviews and fan discussion, Me and My drew the most consistent criticism of the 5 tracks. It will still get played at festivals. The Dr. Luke credits are not something that gets to pass without comment. His name appears on both this track and Champion. A group positioned for a decade as a vanguard of female self-determination chose a producer who has been the subject of documented sexual assault allegations since 2014. That is a choice YG Entertainment made. The music underneath it sounds fine. Those 2 facts exist side by side. Champion, co-written by EJE, opens on gritty rock-inflected guitar before the verse settles into a minor key drive. The chorus shifts to major and the gang vocals hit wide, the kind of arrangement built to sound enormous in a room full of people. A Teddy-engineered bridge resets before the final run. Listeners split harder on this one than any other track. Some took the lift of that chorus as the EP's best moment. Others found the whole thing too smooth, like a song written to win over an audience that was never going to push back. Champion has that quality. JISOO is a different animal. JISOO has corners. Fxxboy closes on finger-picked acoustic guitar with chord voicings that sit slightly offset, intervals that sound wrong at first before revealing themselves as a point. Over it, JISOO, I don't like you, I'm just bored. Without a heavy beat underneath, the individual vocal timbres separate cleanly. The grit that gets smoothed over on the louder tracks comes through unfiltered. Rapping over a complex fingerpick guitar pattern with irregular chord movement is technically demanding and lands without strain. What the EP actually is: 15 minutes, 4 new songs, and a single from July 2025. 3 years and 3 months since Born Pink. That arithmetic has bothered fans, and the frustration makes sense. The solo catalogs of JISOO, Immortage, Jenny, Ruby, Rose, Rosie, featuring the Grammy-opening performance of APT with Bruno Mars and Lisa Alter Ego, are each stronger bodies of work than Born Pink. That solo growth is audible here. The voices are more confident, the individual personalities more specific. What remains unclear is whether 4 artists who spent 3 years sharpening their own identities still want the same version of the group. The all-English Tracklist, with Jump as the only song mixing Korean and English, is a deliberate move toward a wider market. The old chant Blackpink in your area is gone. In its place, Blackpink, Blackpink. The sonic identity holds. The Korean is gone. JISOO's line distribution has drawn sustained criticism from fans who track the numbers. The lead vocalist accounts for roughly 1/25 of a 14-minute runtime. Whether that reflects scheduling realities, deliberate arrangement, or something else is not visible from the outside, the gap is audible. Where it stands, Deadline is not a disappointment in the way some fans describe. It contains 2 genuinely excellent productions in JISOO and Jump, a structural standout in Champion, and a closing track that rewards attention. The disappointment scales with the potential they proved on their own. Fan reactions split sharply on whether the production ambition in JISOO justified the thinness of its lyrics, and even sharper on the Dr. Luke question. For a portion of the fan base, no score or analysis changes what his credit on 2 tracks means. That is a reasonable place to land. What the conversation around the EP has not quite landed on, Deadline sounds like a group holding something back. Not from laziness, from the same logic that named the project after a tour that already ended. The Deadline wasn't artistic. It was logistical. Deadline is out now via YG Entertainment. You might also like Times Blackpink, JISOO, lyrics, meaning, and production breakdown. Time Jenny and Dokiai, Extra L, lyrics, meaning, and review. Times Rose and Bruno Mars, APT, lyrics and meaning. Times One of the Girls, The Weeknd, Jenny and Lil Rose Depp. Times Lisa, Rockstar, lyrics, production, and visuals. Times Navigating Fame and Vulnerability, how Rose confronts toxic relationships and online hate.